is track speed from the big man, Nick Harbor. No shots of anybody catching him. One of the fastest.
Good morning. Does this officer have a name? I sure would like to make him famous. That occurred yesterday, November 15th, at the Texas A&M South Carolina Gamecocks football game. And that's a Texas State trooper who pretty much decides to throw a shoulder at wide receiver Nick Harbor after scoring an 80-yard touchdown and pulling up gimp after what appeared to be a hamstring injury. That officer was relieved of his duties at the game shortly after that incident because it was in front of 80,000 people and a live TV audience. Relieved of his responsibilities at that game that day, not relieved of his responsibilities that he has sworn to uphold, protect, and defend out there. So I got a question for you. If he's going to act like that in front of 80,000 people and a live TV audience, how do you think he's acting out there? How do I, as a self-defense instructor, teach people of color how to defend against that? Other than what Nick and his teammate did, which was just to walk away. Knowing full well that that's probably not the first time Nick has experienced something like that, and probably not going to be the last time he's going to experience something like that. What the fuck, people? Anyway, happy Sunday.
The Texas A&M football team won its game on Saturday, but a moment between state law enforcement and the opposing team is getting a lot of attention. Let's talk about what happened. So A&M played South Carolina. When two of the South Carolina players were coming out of a tunnel at the stadium, cameras showed a Texas State trooper walking between two of the players, bumping shoulders with them, and then yelling at them. The Texas Department of Public Safety responded to this pretty quickly, posting this on social media. It says that it's aware of what happened at the football game and that the trooper involved was sent home from the game. It also added that the department's Office of Inspector General is going to look further into this. That is the entity within the department that investigates complaints made against the department's employees. Texas A&M police also posted that this happened in the Northeast Tunnel and that the trooper has been relieved of his game day assignment. So we're going to work to learn a little bit more about what comes next for the trooper involved and if there are other responses that need to be shared. So follow along for those. My name is Will Dupree. I'm a reporter and an anchor at the NBC station in Austin, Texas. Thank you for watching.
So everybody's going to try and make this a race thing, but if you look closer, you'll see what's really going on. Don't let the official statement fool you. Something about this Texas A&M situation is way off. A Texas State trooper didn't just bump into a South Carolina player. He wedged himself between them, pointed at the other one, and told him to come over. Right after Nick Harbor's 80-yard touch, he looked like someone trying to interfere with a player, intimidate him, maybe even bait him into reacting, because then an arrest becomes justified. Thankfully, the player walked away. People act like college football is untouched. It's not. Big money means big manipulation, and they already know who wins before kickoff. This is just another crack in the facade. I'll keep you guys updated.
This cop clearly wanted to fight, and the abuse of power was caught in 4K. How do you create a whole scene out of thin air? South Carolina players Nick Harbor and Oscar Attaway are seen calmly walking through the tunnel, and then this cop decides to make contact. Number 27 steps aside, and the trooper still wedges himself in between them, and then throws an elbow, like he's looking for a reaction. He then turns around, points at the players, and starts scolding them like they missed curfew. Sir, you walked into them. And you could just tell he's one of those dudes who still brags about playing football in high school, even though he was probably a walk-on long snapper whose biggest stat was perfect attendance. But get this, Texas A&M released a statement, and this man was already relieved of his duties and sent home. Texas DPS and the Inspector General are now investigating. All that tough guy energy just to get benched by your own department. If this is how he acts with cameras rolling in front of 80,000 people, just imagine how he acts at a traffic stop in Texas.
Really? Well, that's good to know. I would hope so. I did not see that, wasn't aware of that. Got a ton of respect for the people here in College Station. It's a first-class operation. Everybody from a game operation standpoint, they do a great job and are first-class people. So I appreciate them handling that the right way and sending him home.
We have an update on the Texas State Trooper who came under a ton of fire on Saturday after bumping South Carolina players in the tunnel at Texas A&M. The incident made national waves, with people like LeBron James even chiming in, saying that he needs to be suspended. The good news, he was immediately removed from his post and from the stadium. Moreover, the Texas Department of Public Safety released a statement saying that after he was sent home, they will be investigating the matter further. South Carolina head coach Shane Beamer said he wasn't aware of the incident in real time, but did thank Texas A&M for acting quickly.
Got a ton of respect for the people here in College Station. It's a first-class operation. Everybody from a game operation standpoint, they do a great job.
Good on Texas A&M for acting so quickly, but this man shouldn't be allowed near Kyle Field ever again.
Hello, awesome people. Welcome back to another episode. So what did we just watch? Because this right here is white. A Texas A&M state trooper literally bumped into a South Carolina player during the game, and now he's been relieved of his game day duties. Yeah, they took him off the field. And honestly, when you look at the clip, you will see why. Yes, so let's break this down, because something about this whole situation does not sit right. Let's get into it.
So news came out that the officer that was basically responsible for assaulting Nick Harbor, his punishment is going to be to work no more college football games. That's not enough. You don't need a guy like that on the force because he tried to use excessive force. We don't even allow fans to cross the threshold when an athlete is in the heat of the moment. Anything can happen. That officer came at Nick and it could have easily went down. And oh my goodness, it would have been bad. So they need this guy off the force.
A Texas State Trooper tried to pick a fight with South Carolina's wide receiver Nick Harbor after Nick Harbor scored an 80-yard touchdown, and his momentum carried him into one of the end zone tunnels. Now, Harbor and three teammates were coming out of the tunnel when the Texas State Trooper intentionally bumped into them, then turned around, wagged his finger in their face, and started yelling at them. Just watch it again for good measure. And as you can see, it's a white trooper bumping into a group of black men and then yelling at them. Now, the Texas A&M police force says that they removed this Texas State Trooper from duty and sent him home. And the Office of Inspector General for the Texas Department of Public Safety says that they're aware of the incident and they will further be looking into the matter, and no additional information was released. But this is just another indication that the police forces in this country are filled with people who abuse their power consistently. This guy just got caught on tape. I hope he loses his job, but that just means he'll go over to ICE at this point.
Inside the 30, inside the 10, into the end zone. Touchdown, South Carolina. Nick Harbor holding his leg, and he continues into the tunnel after he outruns defenders for an 80-yard touchdown to make it 26-3. That is track speed.
Now, while I am very pleased to see that the SEC has done their due diligence and fired this trash-ass trooper who intentionally ran into Nick Harbor after he ran that 80-some yard touchdown, I want to talk about this motherfucker right here. Who the fuck is he? Because why? Why is it okay? Why was that? What was the point for you to get in this man's path just so that you can hard down knock the ball out of his hand? Like, what is wrong with white people? What is wrong with y'all? Why do y'all have so much hatred towards us when we just living and being successful and doing what the fuck we do? Why do y'all have so much fucking hate towards us? Like, what is it in y'all? Like, this motherfucker literally came out from wherever the fuck he was and stood out there to get the sun out of his motherfucking eyes so he could make sure that he could see what the fuck he was about to do as he slaps this ball out this man's hand. Like, y'all are a really unhinged group of fucking people. Like, seriously, the hatred that y'all harbor towards other people is unnatural. It is unnatural. And this is fucking insane. Absolutely insane.
So here is the deal. South Carolina players are coming off the field, minding their own business, walking to the sideline, and then boom, this state trooper steps right in, bumps into the player, and even wedges himself between him and a staff member. For what? What was the reason? The player didn't do anything. He wasn't acting out. He wasn't breaking rules. He was literally just walking. Just walking. Everybody saw it. It looked unnecessary. It looked personal. And it definitely looked like intimidation. Yeah, the player wasn't aggressive. He wasn't disrespectful. He just looked confused. Like, bro, why are you touching me? Huh? You can tell he was trying to stay calm. And honestly, shout out to him because a lot of people would have reacted differently. Yeah. So remember, these athletes are in the middle of a heated game. The adrenaline is up. Just one wrong move from an officer in uniform can turn into a whole different story. I'm telling you. This is the part that made fans furious. The trooper didn't look like he was protecting anyone or controlling anything. It looked like he was starting something, not stopping it. And let's be real, we have seen too many moments where authority figures try to flex on young black athletes for no reason. Just for no reason. And people are tired of it. Don't start drama with a player just because you think they can't react. Don't do that. So Texas A&M quickly said, nope, this is not okay. And they took him off his game day duties. They didn't defend him. They didn't make excuses. They said this was wrong and they acted fast. And honestly, that tells you everything. If the school watched the footage and said, yeah, you gotta go, then we all know who was in the wrong. We know, right? This is more than a bump. It's about respect. These players work hard. They train all year. They put their bodies on the line. The last thing they need is someone who is supposed to keep the area safe becoming the problem. Yes. And think about it. What if that player had reacted? What would happen? What if he pushed back? He would have been the one called aggressive. He would have been the one facing penalties. He would have been the one blamed. That's why this moment matters. Yeah, that's why this moment matters. Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, everybody is talking about this clip. People are calling it unnecessary, unprofessional, and straight up weird. This is weird. Some fans say the trooper looked like he had a personal issue. Others said he was trying to get attention. When millions of people see something and all agree it was wrong, yeah, it was wrong. It was totally wrong. I'm glad the school acted. I'm glad the player didn't react. And I'm glad the staff member stepped in and worked with him. Football is supposed to be intense, yes, but not like this. not with people in uniforms abusing their access to the field. Yes, you are there to protect, not provoke. Yeah, that's what I think about this. So yeah, fam, this story is a reminder that even in sports, people in power need to be held accountable. Yes, they need to be held accountable. You don't get to touch players for no reason. You don't do that. You don't get to intimidate young athletes. And you definitely don't get to cause problems on national TV and walk away without consequences. So what do you think? Was the trooper out of line? Did Texas A&M make the right move? Drop your thoughts below in the comments. And if you want more reaction videos like this, make sure you hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Let's talk about it. Catch you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.